Well, I'm Alan Dale from Gale Force Winds. It's an absolute pleasure to be here in Toronto, Ontario. I love when organizations come together and share ideas, and that's exactly what we're seeing here with the National Association of Career Colleges and the Career Colleges of Ontario. Everybody coming together, share best practices, and even some things that might have went wrong and pitfalls to look out for, but it's everybody collaborating, and that's such a fun place to be. And the conversations I've had already today have taken me across this great country of ours, and it's wonderful to be talking to people that are truly making a difference. And I'd like to introduce our next guest. Michael is the CEO of NACC, and I want to tell you, he understands the importance of getting the message out about all the great things that are happening here. Michael, tell me a little bit about what you're experiencing here in this conference so far.
First off, before I get started, do you ever have a day where you're not excited?
Not many, no.
You are one of the
excitable
happiest
guy.
human beings I've ever had the pleasure of working with. You and Jerry have made such a great difference for our sector in getting out there and helping us tell those stories. So I'm excited to be here for a couple of days. We've got a great sold-out conference with Career Colleges Ontario and ourselves here in Toronto, and just excited. I love hearing the stories. I love meeting the students. I love meeting the instructors. We've got a pre-session going on that was sold out today talking about how do we help with financial aid for students to make sure they're well taken care of. I'm as excited as you are to be here, and that's saying something.
You know, Michael, it's amazing when you get into conversations with the folks here at the career colleges, how they look at student education so differently. They try so hard to break down all the barriers for students to enter into their education programs, into their colleges. They make it very easy to join and come along on the journey. But they also then put instructors in front of them with real life experience, experienced people that go in front of those students and then stay with them on graduation, help them get a job and stay with them on a journey of lifelong learning. This is a style of education and a conversation around education that is rarely heard anywhere in the world. What is the secret sauce here?
I think one of the secret sauces is I love the fact that you talk about a classroom of 24 students instead of 2,400. So when you talk about that personal touch to getting in the door and getting a student going, getting them on success, and you talk about the end career, think about that classroom with 24 students or 12 students. The hands-on time with an instructor, and then going into a workplace, going in somewhere and getting those hands-on skills development. When you walk into a job, you're job ready. You've got a career ready. And the other part that I think is the secret sauce, many of the provinces we operate in, the regulations that we operate under, you actually have to prove there's a job demand before you start teaching that cohort of 24 or 40 students or 8 students. If there aren't jobs available for them, because we're regulated career colleges, we can often not start the programs.
Right.
So there's jobs at the far end. So not only does that student come through the program and go to work, their sister often follows, their brother. There's a relative that does it, and they build these relationships with these colleges that are forever. And it's really quite interesting to watch.
I want to pull on that a little bit. I mean, what you've described there is an ability to listen to industry, listen to government, understand the direction they're going, and then adapt to that need and create programming that responds to it, and you perfectly close the loop. Talk to me about the importance of that cycle of continuously listening.
Yeah, that's what they have to do, and the instructors that come in have lived it in real life. They've worked for 20 years, they've worked for 30 years, and now they've decided I'm going to give back and become an instructor. Sometimes it's a younger instructor who's just taken on and started to work on it, is also practicing at the same time, some practice of work, whether it's welding or being a PSW, continuing care aide in healthcare. That personal experience that they bring into the classroom is just so crucial.
One of the folks I spoke with there earlier today talked about the importance of networking at an event like this. It's one thing to get all the sort of structured lectures and the like, but it's that networking piece, learning from one another in a different style of setting, maybe removed from the day-to-day grind of your college and all of that, and stepping away and then sort of sharing your ideas. Talk to me about that.
It's crucial to what we do, but it's interesting. We're spending a lot of time talking to people about when it's online learning, how do you build that networking skills? How do you bring people together? when you're online as well, because sometimes they come to the school once in a while. Sometimes they'll take their whole program online from across the country. So how do you make sure they develop relationships with the other students, with the instructors, with the people they need to get to know, to develop those skills? You and I have no problem sitting in front of a microphone and talking. One of the great things that comes out of these programs is that people learn how to network. They come out of their own self. They become just a little bit more communicative. And that's one of the things that I really enjoy watching.
Yeah, and then of course the sharing ideas across provinces. I mean, that's so crucial, and there's not many organizations and associations that have that, an ability to share so broadly across our nation. And that's a powerful thing.
It's very powerful. It works really well, and we see colleges from British Columbia cooperating with one from New Brunswick to build a new program. And what's always in the background, and we talked about this earlier, there's an employer in the background. There's an employer waiting for that job, or helping make that student, or making sure that that program meets their needs. And the closer the colleges get to those employers. We spent some time on our board of directors this morning talking about the Living Classrooms program here in Ontario. And how do you make sure that program works within our program so that the students are getting what they need? We spent an hour this morning talking about the need to, what's the right practical time spent in a program? Is it at the end? Is it the start? Is it the middle? Is it a balance of coming back and forth in and out of the program? That's what our colleges can do, because they're small, they're nimble, and they're agile.
Yeah, can I pull on that for a second too, right? Almost every single person I've talked to have built in the experiential learning. It's baked into all of the programs. So vitally important, where everybody is struggling in academia to find that experiential learning. You guys seem to get it.
Yeah.
And now you're tweaking it to find out where it should fit and how often.
And COVID made us all go online and do it different. So we're in Ontario today, perfect example. We could not train online in Ontario until COVID, and they went, okay, can you? And they all figured it out, got going. Now we can keep doing it, but we're working on that balance of making sure the students feel part of the college, feel part of the program, feel part of their student group too. And it's interesting to watch them do that. Colleges and universities do this stuff well too, but we do it in these small classrooms for shorter programs, get people back to work. The average student, a lot of misconceptions about our sector. You've gotten to know us really well. You've been fortunate traveling the country to get to know us. And our average student is mid-30s. 60% of our students are females across the country. It's a different kind of dynamic. A lot of newcomers to Canada who've come here. They're not international students attending our colleges. They're newcomers who come to Canada who are trying to get out there and find a job, or they're retraining, or someone who's lost their job and they want to go in for 6 months. We've got a great new partnership with CompTIA that teaches cybersecurity skills, and we think that thing's just going to be so much fun.
Again, I mean, there's so much to sort of talk about here, right? Whether it's a newcomer to Canada or a domestic student in transition, trying to find that it's a big tent here. There's a space for everybody in here. But I also love the way the innovation that's at play here all the time, looking for better ways, looking for more creative ways, cybersecurity, looking for ways to respond to those challenges. It's a very innovative space.
And that's because employers are asking us. They're knocking on our door saying, I need 80 of these, I need 40 of these, I need 32 of these people.
Right.
So we build the program to meet the need, and here's the key. The people don't understand. We're a heavily regulated sector by the provinces that we operate in. Heavily regulated. We're not trying to change that. We look for consistency of regulation, but we're okay with that because it makes sure the students are protected.
You know, Michael, you're at the helm of this thing as a CEO. What are
cheerleader. I'm going with cheerleader this week. I think it's a better title for it.
What are you excited about over the horizon? What is it? What's one thing that says, oh, I can't wait?
There's this CompTIA partnership of what we can do around cybersecurity training.
Okay.
We can't do enough of it. It could be someone taking one little course to protect their organization against threats, to see things and put their hand up, or it could be the longer term programs that are going on. For me, it's the way our theme of the conference, Stronger Together. With business, with enterprise, with Career Colleges Ontario and the National Association, with all of our principals, we're stronger together by working together. So I'm excited to see that come together. We sold the event out for us, so that's a big deal. And we're really, really excited to see where this goes. over the horizon, I'm interested. We got Peter Mansbridge on Friday afternoon speaking to us, and I'm really excited to hear him talk about what he sees about our sector and the world around us.
Well, all this doesn't happen without a steady hand on the tiller, so thank you very much for your leadership. I appreciate it. So
The team and our board of directors, these individuals, they're down the hall here for a full day meeting, giving up of their time as volunteers, and we can't thank them enough. I was going to ask around the room, but I think we got at least 400 years of experience in that room training students in Canada, and I'm love spending time with them.
Well, thank you very much for your perspective. I'm sure we'll be talking more throughout the next coming days.
Thanks.